I'm rolling tape. We're gonna YouTube this. This is Sarah getting ready to get in her little turtle. It's the turtle cap from the sand pit, which is empty this year. So she's made mud like Peppa Pig, and now she's gonna well her in it. We're rolling mud video. Now please don't sling it at the new fence, and don't sling it at me, and try not to get it all over the sand. What we'll do is later we'll put it in this other one maybe. If you want a mud pit this year, we'll keep it in the sandbox instead. You're gonna be messy. That water's gonna be cold when you rinse off, so just remember, I would try and keep it out of your hair and stuff. Okay? Because that water, I don't even have the hose hooked up, and it's gonna be a little chilly. You're waiting to do that all winter?
Yeah.
Till summer got here? We tried to make it a mud pit that one year, but it filled in full of grass.
Yeah. Yeah, people put seeds in it.
Well, the grass is seeded through nature and birds, and it's planted. Sometimes when you dig it down, the seeds are still in the mud. Grass grows pretty easily. Yeah, you probably have to continually rototill it like they do gardens. I don't even know if you can buy mud or dirt without grass in it, because if you plant it, grass can grow just about anywhere, but if you put dirt down, eventually grass will start growing in it. I swear to God, it's in all the soil. Besides, like I said, the birds, the wind, those dandelions, those are all the little white puffy ones, they're all seeds. So this is your little mud pie pit. We'll get you a better one if we can. It'll probably be soupier mud.
I don't care what type of mud it is. As long as I have my gooey mud. Gooey. Drop.
Now you're a little mudling, huh? You still think this is because Peppa Pig influenced you? You always like seeing Peppa Pig play in the mud?
That was my favorite part.
I know, it's your favorite show for a long time.
It is.
You used to like dropping yourself on the ground, laughing with your feet up. You always like playing in the mud pit. We like playing in mud too, but we did it long before Peppa Pig was ever invented. But not like she did. Like they always lay in the mud and kick their feet up. I think most people don't realize that most pigs that wallowing in mud aren't really wallowing in mud, but you know, that's a different story. Unless they're outside the little pig pen. Then it could be mud that way. But we won't bring that up right now since you're getting a mud bath. There's been ancient cultures that consider mud baths like therapeutic, and some will put it on there and wait for it to dry. Like they used to have mud wrestling at the medieval fair. I don't think they do anymore. There was a big mud pit, and they'd jump in it, and they had a little stage show they did. They called it the Mud People. It was kind of neat to see. The medieval fair in Geneva there. Yeah, some people used to do that, like mud baths, and then as it dries, they say it's good for your skin. But I'm sure Mama doesn't want you mudding up your hair and all that stuff today. It's a little harder to get mud out of your hair than your legs, so. You gonna mud your arms up too? Huh? Mud your arms up just a little bit. I mean, you got mud out of you all over the place, so what's the difference? I mean, you're sitting in it. You're our little mud pie. Hey, that could be your nickname.
Yeah.
Mud pie.
Yeah.
How'd you get that? Well, I liked playing in the mud from watching Peppa Pig, so my daddy decided he was going to call me Ping Pong Ball, and I didn't like that name. So, one day I was playing in the mud, and he said, "Hey, you're our little mud pie." So ever since then, they call me Mud Pie. It's going to be a story you can tell your future family someday. Like, someday when you're mama and daddy's age and you got kids, grandkids, you'll be able to tell them. Maybe you can go back and tell them to watch the YouTube video so we get some more views on it. Hopefully in about 20, 30 years. Not anytime sooner, right? Uh-uh. You just want to play in mud forever?
Yeah, for that.
I'm going to have to upload this tonight because this is pretty funny.
Yeah, you have to. I hope this.
That's why I didn't live stream it, because the live stream's too jumpy. It wouldn't be good video.
I hope this.
And this is using the old phone, so I hope the video is good. In the bright sunlight, I can barely see you. I mean, you're in frame, but it's hard to see you in the... We're going to do an aerial swing around for the mud pit kid. It's our little mud pie. Our little mud pie. What's your new nickname?
Mud pie.
Mud pie. What do you want for lunch?
Mud pie.
What do you want for dessert?
Mud pie.
What do you want for dinner?
Mud pie.
Mud pie. It'd be neat if we had a mud pit and put a slide up. Then you come down the slide right into a big mud pit. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Especially if the other kids didn't know it was a mud pit and then they come sliding down and whoosh, splash in a mud pit.
That would be so fun to get it out of pool and then it mud. Right?
Our little mud pie. Yeah, that'd be funny.
But it
Excuse me.
That video, I'll put them with no.
Give us a thumbs up in case we stop the video here, just in case. Sarah, give us a thumbs up. Don't put the thumbs up. The thumbs up.
I cannot show my face.
Well, turn your thumb so we can see it. All right, we're not gonna stop the video there. I just want to take a pause. Yeah, that sun's pretty bright.
Yeah.
We'll have to put a canopy over the mud pit, right?
Mm-hmm.
In case it rains, so don't get wet. I was just kidding.
But mine needs to be wet.
I know, I was kidding with you. We don't have a movable canopy just to keep the sun out your eyes. You're not using my hat either.
Give me your hat. Give
Yeah.
me your hat.
No, I don't think so. My little mudling.
I put new caps on me.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to put elbow caps on me.
They say, some people say if you're stung by a bee, then you don't have nothing else.
You mud?
You put a little mud on it and it dries, just like some people put wet baking soda on there and it helps draw it out as it dries. They say you can do the same thing with mud. Now obviously you want to use as clean as mud as you can get, if that makes sense to you, but I know some people who have done it. Besides the stinging little nettles plant that grows in the yard, if you look it up, they say if you roll that inside itself, take a couple bites on it, and then without scratching your mouth up, and then put that on a bug bite or a bee sting, they say it helps heal it. You can look it up on the herb channels if you made it this far, and I wouldn't do that without adult supervision or looking it up and reading about it. But stinging nettles is that little plant that grows next to the plantain, which is also edible, and people make tea out of both of them. They make yarrow, dandelion, nettles, and plantain. You can make a tea and a healing salve out of it. You just have to look it up. That was the only class that I took that one time, and it was kind of neat to see. You can make a tea, and it's supposed to have healing principles. The dandelion is supposed to be good for digestion. The nettles by itself is good for bee stings, bug bites, they say. The key was to roll it up, and you have to break it so there's a little bit of juice there. But I have heard people using the mud for bee stings and bug bites. You just put a little dab on, not as much as she's putting on, and it helps draw the stuff out of the little bee stings. Well, we need to know when you're ready first, but...
Nope, not ready, Daddy.
I don't have the hose hooked up, so... I thought maybe, Mama was going to come out, but she's taking advantage of house time. And I can't really hook the hose up and record you. This is your first mud adventure, that's why we're recording it. I mean, you haven't really played in the mud in a couple years. Literally, not like this.
That's because I never got time.
I know. You're always busy. And now that the rest of the yard's actually matted and stoned, there's actually not very much mud around here. Where you were making your mud pit, it's not there no more. And it kept growing grass.
Mm-hmm.
This is mud that was in the pail.
With sand. I mean, gooey mud. Yeah. I made gooey mud. Sand and mud make gooey mud.
Yeah, it was mostly just dirt. Mostly in that pail. Mostly just dirt. Soaking.
And
Been there
mud.
for a couple years, and all this heavy rain and the water soaking in it. Definitely turns it into almost liquid mud because she pulled out the gobs at the bottom.
And then I added sand to make it gooey.
She added sand. Oh, she added the sand herself. That's what she's talking about. So it's sand mud.
Yeah, so I can make it gooey.
What you want to do is, if you want to save some of that mud, is you'll have to scrape off as much as you want with your hands and leave it in there. And then I'll have to hook the hose up. We'll have to take you... Well, I'll have to bring the hose over here and have you stand in them old leaves and that little grass over there.
I'm trying to wipe it off, but it won't come off.
It's a little project. You got to do one little bit at a time. You're getting your mud bath. Yeah, supposedly ancient cultures, different cultures over time used mud and mud baths.
I'm trying to get off
So-
all the mud.
The cleaner the mud, the better, if that makes sense. Why, you ready to wash up?
So I'm trying to get off all the mud.
Yeah,
off
well, try and get as much as you can. It's going to take a little while to get that off of there. Remember that lid rolls, so don't stand up on the edge. It could flip up or you could flip out. And Alright, is that enough for the mud? You want to wash it off soon?
Yeah, but get off most of the mud.
Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll stop the video there, and then I'll try and I'll probably start a different video for that, but I could pause this one. You want me to get the hose hooked up?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to try pausing this one. Sometimes the pause messes up. Alright, back in a second. I don't know exactly what it's going to be recording, but